And I want to go through mental health because mental health is really a big topic today. I, for one, I'm going to say this. When I came to America, I mean, in Africa, we don't really, mental health is not really huge. I'm going to say that for a fact. And I know some people listening to this will know me when I came here, especially when I started working at Amazon. They'll be like, Ben Rollins don't believe in mental health. Ben Rollins don't believe in mental health. I mean, I will not say that, but I'm going to say, like, in Africa, we know mental health is not really a big thing that people really talk about, sit down and talk about, like, hey, this, like in America, it's big. It's big. So when I got here, I'm like, oh, I'm listening to this. I'm like, what the hell is mental health? Everyone is just thinking, I got to go to a therapist. I got to go talk. I'm like, oh my God, why do I got to go sit down and talk to somebody about my own problem when I can solve it?
Right.
So I'm not really big in mental health. So I want to get your valuable insight. So going through the football experience and like what was going through your mind and how was your mindset? Were you just like, hey, man, this is just for a while. I'm good. The future looks bright. Or you were like, oh my God, life is coming to an end. What am I going to do? How is my future going to look like? Oh my God. Oh my God. What was your this thing mindset like?
So to answer this question, I'm gonna take you all the way back to high school. So my quad tendon injury wasn't the first injury that I had. It wasn't the first surgery I had to go through.
Yeah.
I broke my leg in high school and I broke my foot in high school. I had 2 surgeries on my foot. So I already had experience going through something traumatic and going through pain and going through things like that. So the one thing that helped me through all my pain and trials through football and in life is that just like how when you're in the weight room and you have to hold that barbell, at the end of each weight session, you're going to have calluses on your hand. So it's all about perspective with me. And that's another thing that I learned at a young age. It's all about perspective. And you raised a great point when you said people always say, why me? I used to say that too. I used to just be in my room. And I'm like, why am I going through this? I'm somebody that shows up, tries to do everything the correct way, busts my ass. Why do I have to go through this?
Yeah.
You know? But I got to a certain point is that instead of asking myself, why do I have to go through this? I start asking myself, why not me? Damn. You know, I started questioning myself and say, why not me? Because maybe I'm somebody that people are watching and they want to see what my next steps are.
Yep.
So I tell this to some of my friends all the time. In certain moments when I'm down and I'm at my lowest, or when I feel like, oh, now I have to teach myself how to walk again and different things like that, I started becoming my own superhero. And that was the big thing for me. It's like we see superheroes all the time and have the hope of this person or that person. This is life. When you're going through life, somebody's not going to always come and save you.
Yeah.
You're going to have to save yourself. You know, so once I knew that I had to be my own superhero, okay, if I'm going through something, I might give myself a day. Give myself a day being weak. And in my eyes, if I'm asking myself, oh, woe is me, and I'm saying, why me? That's my one day to be weak. But once that next 24 hours come, I'm getting rid of all that mindset, all those things I'm saying in my head. It's going out the door. I'm throwing that away. From there, I'm gonna tell myself positive things. Why not me? It's happening in my life because I know I'm capable enough to get through it, and then I'm gonna show people how to get through it. Yeah. And then when I get through it, I'm gonna tell them, this is how you do it. Yeah. You know. So instead of having that why me mentality, it was let me be my own superhero. Yeah. Let me prove to myself why I'm supposed to be here. Because I'm here for a reason. Yeah. And it's really that competitive nature. You know, you just can't be competitive when everything is going perfect.
Yeah, that's true.
Just like boxing, everybody has a plan till they get smacked. Bang. What are you going to do when you get smacked? Yeah. Because when you get smacked and it's live bullets going and flying, then that's when you fall to your training. Yeah. So your training, your baseline, your foundation has to be on, you know, I'm going to make sure I get better every single day. Yeah. I'm going to make sure, one, I'm going to tell myself positive affirmations every single day. And we all different. Yeah. what you have to do to make sure you're in the clear mental space might be different from me. And what I do might be different from other people. But what people have to do is find what works for them. If music puts you in your zen and puts you in that positive state, listen to music. If meditating puts you in that positive thing, meditate.
Yeah.
So what I had to do is, instead of focusing on what's making me upset, what's making me sad, what's making me angry, I had to focus on what makes me happy. What makes me, a clear mind so I can make a smart decision even through a hard time. So once I start focusing on different things like that, like meditation was one thing for me. I was meditating in high school, just clear my mind space. Let me clear my mind space for 30 minutes or to an hour. And then when I'm back, I'm back. That's really just training your brain. I'm not thinking about anything right now. So then when I'm doing a task, it's just I train my brain to eliminate all my thoughts for that 30 minutes. Now, if I'm doing a task, I'm going to be fully invested in it because I know how to snap my brain and be like, let's focus on this task.
Got you.
So just doing little things and paying attention to myself and what helps me, that helped me be in a positive mental state. So when we talk about having a good mental health, that's what people have to do. Pay attention to yourself.
Yeah.
We pay attention to everything else. We on social media all day.
Yeah.
We paying attention to all the celebrities.
Yeah.
We paying attention to the next man, what this person saying, what how this person looked at me, why this person do that. We pay attention to everything but ourselves. Because when you don't pay attention to yourself and you're in a hard time and you just like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way and I don't know what to do, it's be unacceptable because you're with yourself 24/7.
Yeah, man, you're so seasoned. You're brilliant. Everything you said is just on point, man. I'm taking notes right now. So I want to get back to the point you just laid out right now about being your own superhero.
Yeah,
that's so like that's a valuable insight because sometimes when you're going through like life experiences or trials and tribulation, and you like, oh my God, how did I get myself into this point where I don't really know what to do? Sometimes when something hits you, you're like, damn, what am I going to do? What's the next step? You don't even know the next step.
Yeah.
And if you have the mentality like, how can I be my own superhero? That's going to put you on another level.
100%.
Because now you're coming from a point of view like, hey, this is a challenge.
Yeah.
So how am I going to get out of this challenge being victorious?
Right.
And once you see that from that perspective, it puts you in a really strong mindset, and you're going there. You're going in that situation as someone who want to be a victor. You want to be victorious at the end of the challenge. And sometimes in life, it's easier said than done. We can say this, but some people will be like, oh man, you're just saying all this your positive mental attitude thing, or you just got to be positive. Or do say some positive affirmation. And I've done that thing and it does not work. And I don't believe in it. If you're one of those people saying that right now, I want to tell you something. Just the fact that you're saying that means you did not go in with the full belief that, hey, this thing works. Yeah. You're just like, oh, let me just kind of try this thing out. I've been hearing people just talking about it. Oh, let me just try it.
Man.
Yeah, this is like, oh, let me just try it out and see what goes. And when you go in, you're not committed and you don't believe. And like the results you're going to get is just like, hey, it doesn't work for you because you're not believing. Because the moment you believe and you put in effort and, hey, I know this thing works, I want to see the results. And I believe in myself. Do self-reflection and meditate. Like you said, meditation is really, it's a big thing. And sometimes people don't really meditate because they don't really know how to do it. But I, for one, I'm not going to sit down here and say I'm an expert when it comes to meditating because I am still learning. I'm still in the process of getting to the different levels of meditation. But I can say I'm not even the base yet. I'm still below.
But that's the beauty of it. It's the journey.
Yeah, just the journeys. But I'm enjoying it. But with the reason why I brought up meditation, because sometimes in life, you really need to sit down and have a moment with yourself and no noise, no phone, nothing. Just think, how do my, and then start asking yourself questions. I don't know how people meditate, but for me, I always try to ask myself questions. I'm like, where do I see myself in the next 10 years? Am I living my dreams? What are some of my values? What are some of the things I really value in life? I start asking myself those questions. I'm like, hey, what is it going to take for me to get to the life that I really desire?
Yeah.
The life I really want, the life that is going to make me proud of myself, and the life that's going to leave an impact to my generation. When I start thinking about that stuff, it makes me like, it expand my brain, because now I'm looking at things from a different angle, different perspective. And when a challenge hit, I'm like, man, I know. Like when you're meditating, you kind of feel like insightful.
Yeah.
The moment you get a challenge, you're like, now I can handle this.
Yeah.
You just come from nowhere. Like I know how to handle. I can. If I don't know the exact procedure or the exact steps to take, but I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
You come from with that mentality because you're at peace with yourself. Nowadays, there's a lot of this thing. They're trying to get our attention everywhere. You're driving your car, you see all the posters like, hey,
Oh yeah.
all state, all this stuff, and then you come to, you get home, you turn on the TV, there's so many ads, there's so many
A lot of
things.
distractions.
You hold your phone, Instagram, Facebook, everything. Everyone wants your attention. Everybody wants your attention. And when you're just scrolling through life, you're scrolling through life, you don't really have time for yourself. You kind of realize that you're really behind when it comes to understanding who you really are, the essence of life. But when you do meditate, I mean, if meditation is not for you, I mean, find something that works for you and do it.
Yeah.
By all means, just do it.
Yep.
Reflect on yourself and see how you can positively impact your life. Before you want to think about impacting another person's life, you got to start with yourself first. Because if you're not strong within, there's no way you're going to create a valuable experience for another person.
Right.
Because it got to come from within. You can fake it, but definitely they're gonna figure you out. But when you come from within, there's an African proverb that says like the enemy within is more stronger than the enemy outside. You can conquer the enemy outside, but the one within is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. You can fake it all you want, but at the end of the day, when you close your door and you're in your room, you know, you're like, oh my God, are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Or you're thinking like, hey God, what did I get? Oh my, what's life? You're making a lot of money, but you don't know yourself. You're just scrolling through life like, hey, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
You can't figure things out if you don't reflect and spend valuable time with yourself, man.